because I'm having a moment and I feel like I'm not only owing myself the experience of what's happening in my mind right now to be remembered, and my phone storage is full. But someone is going to watch this and relate. So the point I'm gonna say now, so nobody wastes their time watching, is how fighting to heal and recover yourself takes a route toward making your inner child happy. And I came out of November 2025 with a small bucket list, nothing too grandeur or grand, but nothing too grand, not full of grandeur. My brain needed to like use both words, right? Oh my gosh, I feel the anxiety flaring in my muscles. I wrote in my little book at the time, uh, when I was a girl. All right, just comment. What did you want to be when you were a kid? And some part of me is feeling this like existential spiral of wanting to be present and hone who I am today and what I want to do now. And I'm just so aware. I don't know why or how God made me so ever mindful. But I recorded. I got advice this week about making my music and to just know in the process of trying to restore my being. I am suffering empty nester syndrome before 35, and that is only one detail of the many things that I try to psychologically fit into this one being. So I default to this. I just ask the question, comment, what did you want to be when you were a child? And the point behind this question is trying to, so to speak, reset to factory settings, right? And just taking this moment in your life to say, okay, well, I don't know who I am, or I don't know who I want to be, or I do. In my case, I know all that I have to fight for and decades of dreams that I am determined to fulfill. And I sat here in I think the word is non-consensual anxiety. I am experiencing some non-consensual thoughts of how I don't want to make my music anymore, because just in this past week, and I told myself, like, spend January just working on the household and fixing my physical space before I pursue the year. Like, it's officially Happy New Year in February. And thank you for those who are watching live, and shout out, you all helped me get up to 90 subscribers. We're at the even 90 now. Thank you so much. So for those who are joining my journey live or watching the replay, and thank you for sharing, is that I want to be the harbinger of healing for humanity, and taking self first and doing whatever it is that I can to quote unquote restore my quote unquote family. I'm trying to reset to factory settings. Who am I at the most innocent level of life? Who did you see yourself as? And the thing is, we can't even really fully ask and answer that, because we weren't so conscious before 10 years old. We weren't so mindful at 8 or 13. And at whatever age you started to become conscious of your actual independent existence or individual presence on this earth, it's like, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer for anyone, but I'm I'm surviving sadness right now, and I'm trying to externalize what I'm internally experiencing because I am my mental health took a really sharp dip since I found out some information regarding my children's lives since they've been living with their father, my ex-husband, and I'm just swirling through so many different identity crises and this innate or God-given drive to live on and make my existence matter. And I'm thinking about my music, and I recorded a freestyle this morning, and I'm not promoting. See, even now, I'm feeling a little. So what led to this live is the fact that I listened to supportive advice on Thursday night. I always go to this very local, homely restaurant for free karaoke, and singing has really helped get through depression last winter. And so, coming into 2026, trying to honor my inner child, trying to give my whole life any pieces of the puzzle I once wanted to put together. I'm trying to make myself as whole as I know I can be. And so, asking the question, what did you want to be when you were a kid? Is just to get to know your natural self. Like, what did God create you to do? Because you enjoy it with natural skill. And maybe some of really knowing takes time and life and consideration and education. I'm a natural psychologist. It made so much sense to me when I had psychology as a class in my senior year of high school. I get it. It got me. But to the point of this video is that rebuilding my mental health and managing my mental wellness. I think, we can't just say you have mental illness or you're normal. Where's the balance in that? So every human has mental health, like your body has mental health, but it could be in good condition or bad condition. You can be rich in your mental health or poor. So to the spectrum or side of the spectrum where there's mental illness, let's focus on mental wellness. What does that look like? Let's build that. Let's gear our minds toward that direction. And I'm just sharing this experience not only to chronicle for myself, again, low storage on my phone, but I hope it's helping. I know I'm not the only one. I need to believe I'm not the only one, because thinking about making music over this past week has really, and time venting to a friend or two, is making me really feel like, what's the point in talking about your past? Because I don't want people to come out of the woodwork and lie about me or defame me, slander me. And I also realize perspective is key. On my stomach. Oh, that made me not up for a hot second. That, I lived it through these lens. You lived it through these lens. The thing that's making my body hurt right now is I'm in my own mind. I'm validating how a person can make me sound like X, Y, and Z, right? Let's just insert negative perception of Jasmine here. And it hurt to oh, nope. I think we care about who. Never mind. I tried to make that philosophical, but my point is that it hurt because it was somebody close to me who ate another person's story up. Somebody who don't like me, somebody who don't want to work through problems, somebody who don't communicate, somebody who has a narrative of Jasmine in their world that I don't or can't care too much about the strangers, about the masses, about the random comments that will arise from wherever. But to see a person all right, so I'll make the words simpler because it's too hard to try to say it all out logically. To have somebody fold on you is a really heartbreaking experience. Like, did you not know me? Do you love me? What value does my word even hold if you even cared to hear me out? And so I'm sick. I'm sick. Actually, I just today officially learned the name of the person who created the quote, sick and tired of sick and tired. Uh, Fannie Lou Hamer. Power to the ancestors. Fannie Lou Hamer said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so I honor my Black female ancestor by recognizing that phrase officially with the person who quoted it. Uh, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of having to or feeling a need to defend myself and against liars. I wanted a musical project that told my story from my last 7 years, because even now, 2026, I feel like I'm rebuilding, or in this case, reset to factory settings. I'm trying to renew my whole world. And a lot of it is responding to things I can't control. A lot of it is just doing the best I can with what I'm left with. With anything that has been taken from me or lied about, however malignant I've been experiencing humanity over the past several years, many years, I thought it would validate and empower me to put it into what I know is a natural talent God gave me. And I thought I'd make my inner child proud by singing officially, making that something that I determined as a goal. Um, I looked up all of the televised shows that people audition for, like, American Idol. I learned that Amateur Night at Showtime at the Apollo is officially an extinct uh, experience. So anyway, the point is aside from putting myself out there as if to compete, which I'm not trying to do. I don't want to hear anyone's opinions comparing me with if they do or don't think I make the cut or not. So even over these last couple of months, I've realized that it's less about the audience I want to present my singing to, but that I do it confidently or purposefully. However, damn, now I'm thinking why. I don't really know why I stopped to care what my inner child needs. And back to the whole me not wanting to be a Debbie Downer thing. I was sitting in my bed, kind of swirling. At the realization and acceptance of the fact that adulthood squashes every nice, innocent, good thing about life itself. I don't think any of us can ever just trick ourselves into going back into that life of believing everything is and will be okay. Because I think this is, oh, come on, Jesus. I'm actually not 100% sure. So I invite you to get into your Bible and find it for yourself. But there's a word that says in the Bible, when I was a child, I thought like a child, I behaved like a child. And when I became a man, I put my childish ways behind me so I can think and act as such. Right? So to evolve, to mature, to grow up is to bury the joy and innocence and freedom of youth. And I don't want to think like that. I don't want to put that out there for you to feel. I don't want humanity to keep that grief of the passing on of what was the idea that life is and can be good. But we have very known popular sayings like all good things must come to an end. So I try not to get on here sharing a lot of my thoughts because I've progressed through the stages of existential grief and existential crisis. So 2025 and and ongoing because those don't have a cure, right? Typically somebody does the therapy work and life changes occur and they feel better. Good for them. I didn't get that. That's not happening for me. So um and it's a complicated experience. Yes, I did have a therapist who betrayed my confidence, and so a lot of healing is required over here. um but in the last 3+ years of actively working to seek and participate in whatever resources I can find that can support my emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever journey, like the living of this thing, life. I came up with the term existential renewal. It's not a psychological term that exists in the world yet, but shoot, Freudian psychology wasn't psychology until Freud said it. So I call the determination to overcome existential crisis is existential renewal. And for me, that is actually not questioning, why do I exist? What's the purpose of my being in this life? And what is the meaning? Like all okay, I'm past that. I have my purpose. I have dreams, like I said, to fulfill. I have much to live for. I'm very resolved. I'm resolute about the growing forward. I'm trying to figure out how to stuff I've done already in the last 30 minutes. Um, I tried something that uh, the information is out there. I don't know who said it, but cold helps shock the nervous system into calmness. So I've actually done that a couple of times outside, just feeling my physical body having anxiety symptoms. And so I touched